Ladies and gentlemen, RosterWatch Nation, welcome back to the epic RosterWatch Podcast, brought to you by RosterWatch.com. My name is Alex Dunlap, here today with the Trashman to talk about a few bounce-back players for the 2020 season, players that we're expecting to bounce back as far as fantasy goes, and also we'll have the evaluation of Joshua Kelley, the running back out of UCLA, the guy who, from a standpoint of just an all-around awesome dude, I mean, Josh Kelley would be RB1 in this class. Trash man, what the hell's going on, brother?
Just quarantining.
Yeah, Taining?
Taining.
What does that mean?
Containment.
Yeah.
Entertainment.
What? And we don't want to talk too much of that on here because we want to make sure that this is a nice way to get away for the people out there who, you know, all they hear about is this shit all day long. But just a quick question for you. How do you feel about these models that show that, like, down here in Texas, we're going to get like the last wave of these outbreaks? I think it means that like everybody else is not going to get out and we're going to have to stay stuck down here. I don't know.
Texans, I mean, we stay pretty far apart from each other anyways.
Yeah. I want everybody to keep their goddamn distance from me.
I mean, like, public transportation isn't really a thing here, so.
Yeah, that's true. All right. So, any news and notes you wanted to get into before we get into the meat of this thing? Talk about some of these guys we think could bounce back, and then talk about Joshua Kelley.
Well, we were talking the last time we talked, we ended on someone potentially going to the Chiefs. I forgot who it was. Was it Benjamin? It was Benjamin. We were talking about going to the Chiefs, but it looks like
he still could. He still could.
But it looks like the Chiefs have preemptively added a little scat back to their backfield in the form of DeAndre Washington, formerly of the Raiders.
I guess Andy Reid has to have running backs whose name starts with D right now
and end with W. And then the last name's in with W.
Darrell Williams, Damian Williams, DeAndre Washington, Darwin Thompson.
There's a trend there.
Yeah.
I never thought he would. Reid was superstitious, but maybe
I don't know.
Maybe this is proving me wrong.
Let me pull up my 2020 rookie running back ranking to see if there's a D. Is there a DW running back in this class? I don't think there is.
There's a DeAndre Swift.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's one off from a DW.
There's a Darius Anderson. There is a Darrington Evans, a DJ Dallas. Yeah, I think that those would be I think if we're being really scientific, those would be the guys to really keep an eye on for the Kansas City Chiefs as far as rookies. Does this mean anything to you? Does it hurt? Does it hurt anybody? Does it hurt, like, who would it hurt? Maybe does it go to show that maybe Darwin Thompson didn't become what they thought?
I think it hurts Darwin Thompson potentially. Like, maybe they add somebody, but to me it looks like they feel like they've done enough with what they have that maybe they don't need to add anybody really as far as rookies in the backfield.
Do you think so? They got to still add a rookie. They can't. I mean, what are you going to? I mean, Darrell Williams is going to be coming off he was already slow as a slug anyway, and he's coming off an injury. Damian Williams can't stay healthy to save his goddamn life. Darwin Thompson sucks so bad they have to sign DeAndre Washington. I think that DeAndre Washington gets a value boost here. Damian Williams is going to get hurt at some point, right?
Yeah, that's true. And DeAndre Washington, I mean, he's been productive in spurts in the NFL. He's never, I guess he's gotten a couple chances to be. Well, I guess he's never really been the workhorse because he's always had.
Jalen Richard, whenever there's been a lead back hurt. Yeah, whenever there's been a lead back hurt. So it's been a kind of a split the duties kinds of thing. What about this deal with Gerald Everett? We have Sean McVay saying he's got to do a better job utilizing Gerald Everett's skill set this upcoming season, which to me, I think.
Does he mean that? Does he mean that means getting a better quarterback to throw it to him?
God, man, are we just to where Jared Goff sucks? Is that the deal?
There's always been a Jared Goff sucks button that will press throughout the season.
I thought Mike Lombardi from The Athletic, and just he has his own. He should, like, a lot of you guys will just know who he is, but he's a former GM in the NFL, now a media guy. He raises a good point. And I'd be interested to hear your thoughts, Trashman. Would you rather pay Jared Goff $30 million or pay like Jameis Winston 17?
Oh, that'd be exciting to have Jameis back there.
Well, I'm not necessarily saying I'm not saying that that's the answer for the Rams. I don't think Jameis is the answer for anybody right now. But
who had more turnovers? I guess it probably has to be Winston.
What do you mean? Winston had 30 picks.
I feel like Goff wasn't much more efficient though. I don't know.
No, Goff as far as the interceptions was much better than that.
I mean, but as being a quarterback that put his team in the position to win.
What is it? I tweeted this out last night. I was listening to the PFTPM podcast with Mike Florio, and had the quote on. Oh, look at this, man! Actually, looks like
Mike Florio looking like a New York City governor.
Looks like here, Florio. You think Florio looks like Cuomo?
He could.
Oh, he kind of does.
He could be the other brother.
It looks like Roto World actually gave us accreditation here on this little blurb for tweeting this out. But what their take on our tweet said was that Singletary theoretically could have a bigger workload this season with Frank Gore off the roster. We'll have to wait after the 2020 draft before getting too excited. Beane also said they're interested in bringing in competition if the right guy is available. So what he basically said is, look, Florio asked him, he asked Brandon Beane if Singletary could be a 3-down back, a workload guy. Let me pull up our tweet, because I wrote it right as I was listening to the podcast. So I said on this, Brandon Beane told PFTPM that Bills believe year 2 will be better for Devin Singletary, and quote, if we want him to be the workload guy, he could definitely do it. He also mentioned that he was he would have been a 1,000-yard running back last season without the injury, where he missed, 4 or 5 games. But he also said he was interested in bringing in competition if the right guy is there. He said, our organization always interested in bringing in competition. And of course, that's what these guys always say. They're just not going to bequeath a job to some fucking guy. You'd say that this is our dude, especially a dude who's on his first contract. And, everybody knows what competition means, right, for these guys. So,
he missed 3 games last season.
So, do you have the game logs pulled up or the stats pulled up? Is he how was he on? Is Beane right that he was on pace for 1K as far as the yardage? Let's see.
I mean,
775 yards.
He's close. He's close.
No, he missed 4 games last year. He played 12.
Hold on, but there was okay. So he missed weeks 3, 4, and 5, and then week 6 was a bye week.
Did he miss? Let me just see.
Well, I guess he missed week 17. Okay.
Yeah, so he didn't play week 17. Yeah, so he missed 4 games. So you're looking at, I mean, one quarter of the games will be 250 yards to get to 1,000, and it's a little bit higher than that because we're talking 775, right?
Yeah.
So he was on pace for 1,000-yard season last year.
I just think any team's going to be dubious about putting a guy who's 5'7", 203 pounds as their workhorse. I mean, I think Singletary's kind of proven himself, but like you said, he missed 4 games.
Yeah, well, yeah. He's really good though. Let me ask you this, Trash Man, just before we get on to this stuff. What do you in a Superflex Dynasty League? I'm curious to hear what side of this trade you like better in a Dynasty startup, Devin Singletary or Henry Ruggs? because I made this trade in my league that I'm in with Siege and some of these other guys. During the draft, I selected, or I'm not going to tell you how it went down.
I mean, I'd probably go with Singletary there.
I did too. I insta-called the trade offer. I was scared that he was going to rescind it once he came to his senses. I'm worried that Henry Ruggs is going to go to the Denver Broncos, and I think that's going to help everybody, but Henry Ruggs really. What would you think about? It seems as if there's so much building buzz about Ruggs to the Broncos. I think that helps Cortland Sutton because it would open things up. Just the threat of him outside. But I think that he goes to the Broncos, and with the new quarterback like Drew Lock, he's more of a threat at this point and more of a helper to the offense than he is a dude who's going to just create on his own. If I want him to go somewhere where he could create on his own, I'd want to go somewhere with a lot of volume and a quarterback who we know can get that thing down the field. I'm not sure that Locke is that guy. Although Locke was much better last year than I had envisioned him being when we saw him at the Senior Bowl and at the Combine.
Yeah, I mean, I could see his trajectory being something similar to like Marquise Brown's, which would be good, but not terribly consistent.
Not Devin Singletary. That's not the way that I want to build. That's not the way I want to build a dynasty roster. I don't want to wait 4 years for these guys to get established in their offenses. Our guy Alan Seslowski has a breakdown on the site this week where I had on the last podcast this podcast before last I did with this dude Nixon from this same dynasty league that we're talking about. We went over some of this strategy, and Alan has a good breakdown of it on the website. But basically, like, you can take more chances on these young running backs because like they get thrown into the fire. A lot of these wide receivers, they have to get established and they have to gain trust with the quarterback and with the coaching staff. And there's more nuance to what they do. So if you build a dynasty team, and this is something I've always sort of done intuitively, but for me, if I get established wide receivers and just get as many YOLO roll the dice on these running backs as you possibly can, because it feels like those guys come into real prominence a lot more often than some random wide receiver that you can get at value. So you like the Devin Singletary side? I'm very happy to hear that. Yeah. Trash man. Bounce back players. Who's going to bounce back next season? I told you to make a list of 5. Did you make a list of 5?
I didn't make 5.
How many did you make? So I can know how to rotate these for us.
I made 3.
3
so far. I can add 2 more in the conversation.
How about I start with the first one, and it's a guy who I've been asking.
Well, hopefully it's not the same guy.
I hope so. Yeah. What about Derrius Guice? His Twitter is now gone. He's things are going on behind the scenes with this guy. Let me just see. Pro Football Talk had a story on it the other day. I think he's being sued by a former marketing agent for an unpaid loan per Pro Football Talk via the Washington Times. Fatty McHale. Fatty McHale would be an awesome name.
Fatty McGee.
Yeah, said McHale alleges Guice didn't repay a loan of $191,000 that McHale hasn't been paid. His 15% commission for marketing deals negotiated while McHale was representing Guice. So basically, I guess McHale was previously Guice's agent, and when these guys sign these players, they give them what's called a marketing advance, where it's like the money that you kind of live on, that's your mad money, between the time that you get out of college and you're doing your pre-draft stuff and the time you get drafted. And when you get drafted and you sign your deal, you pay back well, I guess a marketing advance is different, because a marketing advance is just an advance on your future earnings through marketing avenues, right? So once you get once these marketing deals that these guys have in place come through, that means that the money is due back to the agent or the affiliate who negotiated those marketing deals. It turns out that what McHale contends in the lawsuit is he negotiated a $260,000 contract with Nike, a $35,000 deal from Hyundai, a $50,000 trading card deal and an autograph deal that would have been paid up to $600,000 in signings and appearances. But what Florio here's what Florio says. Those are impressive deals, given the guy slipped out of round 1 of the 2018 draft in light of the brush fire that was sparked by guys claiming he was asked an inappropriate question during the 2018 NFL scouting combine. Of course, the question he's talking about, the Guice was asked, is do you remember Derrius Guice came out and accused one team of asking him if he was gay? Do you remember that?
I don't know. I don't.
It caused a stir. Let me make shit. I guess we're live. So, I mean, Derrius Guice team asked if he was gay. Yeah, NFL prospect Derrius Guice asked if he's gay, asked if his mom, asked if his mom is what? Asked if he liked men in the inner, asked if he was gay and he liked men. This was on the series.
I'm assuming you like men if you're gay.
That's definitely how it goes.
A redundant question.
Yeah. So anyway, getting back, so that's the background of that. The NFL never found any evidence that such a question was asked, and Guice escaped the situation with his reputation largely unscathed. Clearly, Trashman doesn't even remember it. Guice missed his rookie year with a torn ACL, suffered in the preseason. So blah blah blah. So basically, these deals, I guess, I don't know. He's being sued for $500K. I guess it's because these deals never came to fruition because Guice has been injured the whole time. He's fallen out of the first round. Blah blah blah.
If they just paid these college players, this wouldn't even be an issue.
Yeah, good luck paying college players right now with like they sure lost a lot of money with that basketball tournament getting put on hold. Have you seen the graphs, Trashman, of like the split of revenue between football, basketball, and then every other sport? It's like football makes like $82 million, basketball makes like $3 million. And the rest of the sports combined lose like $60 million. It's wild, dude. It's wild.
Looks like we made the right decision.
You can't pay all those guys unless you just take out, unless you quit, unless you just make mincemeat of the equestrian team and the swimmers and everybody else. And maybe the coaches could start making a little bit less cash too. Do you think Derrius Guice could bounce back next year? Adrian Peterson back in the fold.
I think he could. He wasn't one of the guys I listed, but yeah, is it a bounce back though if he was never really?
Well, we never had this discussion. I just texted you 15 minutes. I just texted you 15 minutes before we started.
I mean, like, I don't know. I don't know if I really consider him a bounce back player because he was never really at the top of his game since he's been in the NFL.
No, I feel well. He's got to bounce back to being Derrius Guice, man. Right?
Yeah, a lot of people don't know who that is.
Well, they should. He's an awesome player.
Back and watch college tape to really see. I mean, he had a couple good runs that I think were were passes that were receptions that.
Dude, guys, every time that he's had the opportunity to play, whether it's been in the preseason or the preseason before, whenever he got hurt in his first year, or whenever it was the one game or whatever how many games did Guice play this year before he got hurt again? It wasn't many, but let me just look and see if we sort by in PPR fantasy points per game. I mean, he was running back 32 in the games he did play. He played in 5 games this season, 11.5 points per game. That counts for one game that he got hurt in. I mean, shit, Trashman. He had a 27.7 pointer against Carolina, wherever he rushed for 129 yards on 10 carries, along with 2 touchdowns. He also caught 2 balls for 8 yards. He had a 13.9 pointer against the New York Jets. So basically, you're looking at a guy who in the 4 games that he was not hurt in, what's that week? So he was hurt a little bit in week 1, right? Came back in week 11 and then got hurt again in week 14. This is really 3 games where he was healthy, quote unquote healthy last season. and he had a median of 13.9 fantasy points per game. His stinker was versus Detroit, a 4.8 pointer. But dude, he didn't get more than 10 attempts all game. All year. He didn't get more than 12 touches in any of those. And to think that he has a 13.9 point median over that small sample and a high of 27.7, I think Ron Rivera and Scott Turner, this is the type of head coach and the type of offensive coordinator that's shown when you have a guy that's clearly head and shoulders better than the rest in Christian McCaffrey, you're just going to feed him, right?
Yeah.
Everybody thinks that the Redskins defense will probably take a step forward this year if they can, especially if they can add a playmaker like Chase Young with that second overall pick. They've invested a ton in the front seven of that defense. They might want to play good defense, and they pretty good defense last year. They might want to play good. I mean, Ron Rivera might want to play good defense and run the shit out of the ball.
Yeah, I mean, we just got to make sure he's well. And they added Peyton Barber.
No, who gives a shit about Peyton Barber, trash man? They added Peyton Barber.
Well, I'm just saying,
that's what our boy Matt Kelly from the Podfather. That's what he calls a meat shield. It's just a meat shield. It just helps.
He's the kind of guy that can make it just a more difficult conversation. It's just like he plays just well enough to stay in the mix.
Yeah, so I agree with our boy Keith D16 here on the stream. He says, "Hit the music, trash man." Peyton Barber, unbelievable. Play the song.
I don't like Peyton Barber. I'm just saying they added him for a reason. I mean, they paid him $3 million, which it's not a terrible deal for someone of Peyton Barber's, I guess, pedigree.
It is a terrible deal. It's a terrible
for the Redskins.
Yes,
for the Redskins
to pay this shit pants fucking $3 million. Unbelievable. All right, who's your bounce back player, trash man?
Todd Gurley.
Oh, okay. Let's hear it.
Well, he's on a new team.
Yeah,
and he's healthy. I mean, well, we're assuming he's going to be healthier than he has been.
That thing hadn't officially gone through. They still have. Didn't
he pass the physical?
Did he? I don't know. Last I checked, that thing still has that thing gone through.
No, I guess he's yet to pass the physical, but the team is confident he will.
Well, hey, I'm sure both teams are, because both teams wanted to get the deal. Both teams want that to happen. The Rams wanted to happen for financial reasons, and the Falcons wanted to happen for reasons that they have Todd Gurley on a great 1-year deal. They're going to run his wheels off this year. They got to win, dude. I talk about it all the time. That regime has to win. They have to show that the second half of last season was not a fluke.
Hey, they have all the pieces right now on the offense, skill-wise.
Yeah, especially since they added your boy Laquan Treadwell. I agree. Gurley could be a good bounce-back candidate. And as we're going over these guys, we should probably talk about where they're going right now in various leagues. Todd Gurley is going right around the 2-3 turn, which for a guy that has, I mean, we've seen it clearly. RB1
potential.
Yeah, top 3. I'd say at this point, you say top 3 to 5 potential at the position. You can get him there at the turn. That's could represent a value. A little more worried in dynasty, I think. And then we mentioned earlier Derrius Guice. I mean, I have him priced in on the cheat sheet down here, even below dudes like. I mean, you're going to have to take Darrell. Like, you take Darrell Henderson, and people are taking Darrell Henderson before Derrius Guice. Who do you like better between Darrell Henderson and Derrius Guice?
I mean, I like Guice as a player more.
Well,
if they're both healthy, all things being equal, I like Guice more.
Okay, fair enough. And that's the other thing with Guice. We need to make sure that he's completely healthy, right? He's posted videos and stuff of him working out, but he kind of deleted his Twitter. I don't know what happens with that.
Getting rid of the distraction.
I hope so. I hope so. That guy just being at the gym working have you seen his thighs just up close in person? I'm telling you.
Maybe he's not the one we need to ask if he's gay or not.
Kareem Hunt.
Kareem Hunt. Oh yeah, he's a good bet. He's a bounce back candidate for sure.
I mean, is it that hot a take to say that Kareem Hunt is as good a prospect as Nick Chubb?
Is it a bounce back so much as just like, let's get a full season under him? I mean, like,
yeah, well, just like I said, trash man. It's like we're trying to think of topics here to talk about. I mean, it's like whenever we do the PFWA voting, like they're just like, it's like bounce back player of the year. You're like, all right, well, what does that mean? Because that has to be somebody coming off injury. Can it be somebody coming off a shitty season? And what they say is it's up to you it's up to the writers to interpret. You know, this is up to the podcasters and
so it's art.
Interpret. Yeah. Art. I wouldn't call this art.
I've been making a lot of art.
Really? That doesn't surprise me too much. My kids have been making a lot of art because they don't have anything fucking better to do either.
Well, before I started playing music, I was an artist, visual artist.
I thought once an artist, always an artist.
Well, I guess
you can't just lose those skills.
It's been dormant, I suppose.
Kareem Hunt's an artist on the football field as far as breaking tackles. He's been dormant for the most part, except for getting pulled over with open bottles of vodka in his car and getting into trouble in Cleveland, Ohio hotel.
You gotta air that vodka out.
Yeah. What do you think? Kareem Hunt, I played him in DFS last year at cheap prices. Once he came back all the time. I don't have his. Let me just see if I can pull up his game log from last season. But I mean, dude, Kareem Hunt was not bad last year on pretty limited volume. I mean, listen to this game log starting in week 10: 14.4 points, 11.8 points, 12.6 points, 17.5 points, 14.8 points, 15.6 points, and then finished off with a dud versus Baltimore, 7.3 and 6.6 versus Cincy.
That PPR format?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, it's definitely driven by his pass catching ability. 9 targets, 8 targets, 3 targets, 5 targets, 3 targets, 9 targets, 4 targets, 4 targets. Do you think with Kevin Stefanski there as the new coach, does that? I mean, they did lean pretty heavily on Dalvin Cook, and it feels like Nick Chubb is certainly the Dalvin Cook. But man, they mixed in Alexander Mattison. And the thing is, Alexander Madison's skill set doesn't really seem to be one that differs that much from what Dalvin could bring. Whereas Kareem Hunt does bring a different kind of juice. Man, Kareem Hunt's an awesome player.
Yeah, like, Kareem Hunt awesome. in a backfield by himself could be, I mean, has been the workhorse. Yeah.
So bounce back. I mean, do you like him? Well, his current ADP right now. We're looking at Kareem Hunt. He's being taken just after like Kerryon Johnson and David Montgomery area, or around the 6th round.
Yeah, I think maybe they simplify things for Baker Mayfield, make it a little bit easier for him. Give the ball to Kareem Hunt more.
Yeah. I just Kareem Hunt is an excellent value in the 6th. It's like Trashman said on the Sirius show a bunch last year. It's Kareem Hunt. Like it's absolutely crazy. Byron fucking texted me during when he knows we have a stream going on. All right.
Maybe it's stream specific.
Oh shit! I hope not. I better check that. Make sure the sound isn't fucked up or something. Let's see.
Well, Alan says it sounds good. So.
Oh my God! Yeah, this isn't true. It's fake.
Is it fake news?
It's fake. There's he sent me a fake tweet from Sports Talk Barry McCockiner. Former NFL MVP Cam Newton signed a 1-year, $5 million deal with the New England Patriots. It's just not true. Adam Schefter says, not my account, fake. So, all right. I'm glad we got that text from Byron here. And our guy Alan says, Lowski in the chat saying that the all sound quality good. All right, Alan, we appreciate that, brother. Thank you. Okay. A few more bounce backs, trash me, and then we got to talk about Joshua Kelley.
Stefon Diggs.
Oh, he's not going to bounce back. I hate this. Talk to me about
you. Tell me why you don't think he's going to have a good year in Buffalo.
Low volume. John Brown still there. I think it's not as good. It's a worse situation than Minnesota. So why would he bounce back?
Worse how? You don't think Josh Allen can air it out just as well or better?
Look, trash man. I mean, the truth is we always talk about Josh Allen and the fact that he loves to air it out, but his deep ball efficiency in the NFL hasn't been very good so far. John Brown was great last year, and he was used in a way that was unlike he's been used before. We thought of him as a speedy deep threat, downtown John Brown, right? He gets there, all of a sudden he's running digs and crosses and all kinds of stuff. Like it wasn't. I think that this hurts Stefon Diggs. I don't like him going to Buffalo. I think it's a lower volume offense. I think it's an offense where they even talked about, they like Devin Singletary. They like TJ Yeldon. They like the ability that they can throw it to TJ Yeldon. They have Dawson Knox coming up as a
TJ Yeldon.
Yeah, well, Brandon Beane talked about him just last night with Florio. He says he considers him a qualified 3-down back. I mean, I don't know. It's like I wouldn't. It's not me saying it. It's not me.
You just
come on. No, it's not me.
Fine. If you don't like Stefon Diggs and AJ Green, that's got to be the bounce back player.
I had AJ Green written down. Because he's such a goat. Can he finally stay healthy? No.
Maybe.
When's the last time AJ Green played a full season? Do you have any idea? I really don't.
Yeah, 2017.
He played 16 games?
Yeah.
Oh, good for him. Well, let's see if we can get it back to 2017 for him. And now as he is AJ Green, yeah, he's wide receiver 10 that year. How old is he? He's going to be 32 years old. Yeah, he'll be 32 years old on July 31st of this year. Let's see if at 32 years old he can actually stay healthy.
I mean, I guess most of his injuries have not been contact injuries, right?
So is that supposed to be good that he's always going out with these horrible non-contact
injuries? No. I'm asking. I'm trying to remember if I'm.
Most of the time, I see AJ Green going off the field, or I hear about him going off the field during training camp, which
he pulls up.
He pulls up, non-contact. Everybody in the stands. Not, yet again. A couple more I wanted to talk about before we move on here and just get your quick thoughts. What about on the other side of the Stefon Diggs coin, Adam Thielen?
I mean, is it a bounce back? I mean,
he wasn't a star. He wasn't last year. Was last year the year that he started out with all the monster games, and then he just completely fell off at the very end?
He didn't fall off at the. I mean, he had in week 18, 129 yards.
Adam Thielen last year. Where did he even finish in last year in 2019? I mean, it was.
Well, I guess a good bounce. He missed quite a few games.
47.
He missed quite a few games.
And I'm thinking about 2018 where he fell off after that unbelievable first 8-game start. 2019. He
didn't fall off in 2018. He had his best season in 2018.
Well, he fell off. Trash man in the first 8 weeks of the season, 102 yards, 131 yards, 105 yards, 135, 116, 123, 110, 103. And then it kind of fell off. He had in the remaining weeks, he had 22 yards, 66 yards. 1 week versus Green Bay for 125, then 28 yards, 70 yards, 19 yards, 80 yards, and 38 yards. He fell off from that unbelievable historic start. He just did.
I mean, but he had to. I mean, that was untenable. It was. I mean, he ended up with 13, almost 1,400 yards that season.
I think he's a wide receiver 1 with your boy shitty Tajay Sharp. If he stays as a wide receiver 2, Adam Thielen's going to bounce back to have a big season. A lot better than last. I mean, he was wide receiver 47 last season. If you just look at it by pure fantasy points per game, and you don't worry about the fact that he was hurt, where does Thielen fit in? No, that is wide receiver 47 in PPR, 11.4 fantasy points per game. Preston Williams and Cole Beasley and Alshon Jeffrey and Jamison Crowder and shit had better seasons. He had 0.4 points per game, better than Tyrell Williams. Adam Thielen is going to bounce back.
Yeah, I think I'll have a bounce back.
And then finally, what about Jack Doyle? What? I mean, he's going to bounce back.
I
going to his trusty old tight ends.
I've not been thinking about Jack Doyle.
He should be. Jack Doyle was awful.
If there's anybody I'm thinking about in that offense, it's Paris Campbell.
All right, fair enough. If there's anybody you're thinking about as far as these running backs right now, is it Joshua Kelley, UCLA? What do you think? Do you like him as far as the stats? 5'10" and 5'8", 212 pounds. He has a 9 and 5/8 inch hands, 31 and 5/8 inch arm. His 40-yard dash was what was really really good at the NFL Combine, 4.49 seconds. He's going to be 22 years old for the majority of his rookie season. He won't turn 23 until the end of November. He had a 46.5 SPARK score from the NFL Combine. So a good 40, but pretty miserable, I believe, in the vertical. And I think it was the 20-yard shuttle. Let me just see here real quick. Get his measurables percentile-wise from the Combine pulled up. Yeah, 13th percentile vertical was what really hurt him. Yeah, a 43rd percentile 20-yard shuttle, and just sort of middling as far as the rest of these things. Did have good bench press numbers, which is weird because he doesn't necessarily.
He's not a real power guy.
I mean, I think like you said in your write up, and I wanted to change it, but I didn't because you said he runs with some vigor and some strength. And while I agree he does,
he runs with a high motor. I feel like.
Yeah, I agree. I just think that my friend Matt Gajewski, he pointed out to me on Twitter that Kelley in 2019 only forced 44 missed tackles, which was 46 in the country. And he had 641 yards after contact, but that was still only good for 53rd in the country. I'm assuming this is via Pro Football Focus. Also, only 9 carries of 15-plus yards. So that's something that's a little bit worrisome about his ability to break away, even though he has that 4.49 speed. The one thing that he's just not evasive. He's not shifty. Yeah, but here's the thing. Like what I added into this column is that like this could lead to speculation regarding a lack of ability to create on his own. But what we saw at the Senior Bowl was good contact balance through the line of scrimmage, shed ability through his hips. This was all during the inside run drills. And those are one of the key attributes, right, to kind of creating outside the structure of the scheme. So, and you know what? Maybe I really like Josh Kelley because he's honestly one of the nicest kids. I hate calling these guys kids. I mean, they're grown men, but it's one of the nicest.
Could you be their father? If you could be their father, then they can be called kids.
I would have been a very I can't imagine the kind of father that I would have been to Joshua Kelley. Starting out being his father.
Me neither.
Like 17 years old. I'm not sure how good I would have been at that.
Yeah, I can concur on that. But
I think you're right. I think that I'm not sure, but I guess technically I could probably be Joshua Kelley's dad. It's kind of a weird thing.
He'd have a much longer ponytail.
Yeah, for sure. But just super nice, man. You ask him for an interview at the Senior Bowl. He literally he's like, the interview. He's like, all right, thanks. Can I get a station ID from you? He's like, sure, thanks. He's like, all right, anything else I can get for you? Anything else you need? I'm just like, man, this kid's awesome. Really engaging, really nice, really smart, awesome dude.
Well, and hey, he wants people to talk him up so he gets boosted in that draft class.
Yeah. Well, blame him. What are your takeaways? What are your pros and cons as far as Joshua Kelley's game? And where do you see where do you envision him going in the draft as well? Like the real NFL draft.
Well, pros that he's a lot faster than people are giving him credit for than we thought. And I don't know if that's a good thing. Maybe he doesn't play as fast in the game, and that can be an issue. But like I said, he runs with a lot of vigor. He runs with a lot of strength. He's not shifty or evasive. And so then maybe that lends to him maybe not having the yards after contact that maybe you would expect of someone of his size and strength. But like you said, he's big, he's strong, and he's fast. I think he's kind of like a poor man's Jonathan Taylor in a way.
Pretty poor man's though. I mean, do you like him better than? We're gonna have some interesting. I don't want to even bring that up. I don't want to tease anything that could give anything away. But do you like Joshua Kelley better than Keyshawn Vaughn?
I think they're probably pretty comparable.
How about Eno?
At least,
are you gonna have Eno? Do you think you'll have Eno Benjamin higher in your rankings than Keyshawn Vaughn or Joshua Kelley, or does he kind of fall in the pocket with those guys? What do you think?
I think Eno Benjamin is less of a workhorse than someone like Kelley.
So you'd have Kelley ranked above Eno Benjamin, but as of right now, you're not exactly sure about how Keyshawn Vaughn fits into that whole puzzle.
Yeah, I like the thing is with this running back class, there are some guys who kind of seem to be head and shoulders above the rest. I mean, there's an upper echelon, and then there's a tier below that. It seems like there's a lot of guys who, depending on where they land. And to me, that's one of the things I said about Kelley is I think his potential in fantasy is going to depend on where he lands and what the team needs. He's not that. I don't think he's that versatile a back like someone like DeAndre Swift, who I just went over, who I just wrote up last night, or a Taylor, or even I don't know that he's as versatile as a Benjamin. But I think he maybe fits the prototype of a workhorse back a little bit better.
All right. Well, I think that's good, man. We just end the pod there. Cool. Nice work. All right. Thanks to everybody for watching on YouTube, interacting with us there, and on Periscope. Keep an eye on YouTube for all this content. Also, our guy, Alan Seslowski, that's been piping in the chat, has a bunch of YouTube content he's been smashing out of the park. So definitely want you to get there, check it all out. Of course, you can subscribe to this podcast, the RosterWatch Podcast, and Apple Podcasts. If you could please give us a rating and a review in there, it would be very, very helpful. And of course, look into a pro membership at rosterwatch.com. It supports your boys. It keeps us doing this. We love doing it. We love y'all. With that being said, I'll talk to y'all soon. Peace.
Yeah.